Hi, everybody. We're really glad to be here with you again. And we want to talk today about cravings and following cravings and how we can not follow cravings, but something much wiser and more valuable.
Yeah, we were talking about this topic yesterday with our community group, our community call on Saturdays. And it's like, well, we've talked about cravings before, but it's like it always keeps coming up. And it's like, well, why is that? Well, it makes sense because cravings aren't like diabetes that you get over. Cravings occur because they're a signal from our bodies. We're hardwired to create cravings when as a means to find a way to feel better. I guess that's how I would say it. Does that make sense?
Find a way to feel better. Yeah. Often, as many of us know, I've certainly done this, and everybody I talk to has done this. We use food as a way to find comfort because of a heightened emotional
State.
moment.
Yeah. Right. And so what we talked about yesterday is how the mind is hardwired to move toward what's comfortable, what's pleasurable, move away from, avoid things that hurt, move away from pain, discomfort, and to do it really efficiently. So what happens is that when we get in a situation where we feel pressure, we feel stress. I mean, isn't that usually when a craving comes up? When I'm feeling chill, I'm not craving chocolate. It's like when things aren't quite right, it's like, oh, chocolate. So that craving is simply the mind. It's a signal from the mind, bringing something from the past that created some sense of a kind of a momentary relaxation, a feeling better.
Yeah.
So cravings are a signal from the body, but they aren't the body's wisdom. That's what we talked about yesterday. What's the difference between this craving, this kind of memory, this reminder? Oh, we don't feel good now. We feel better when we have chocolate or ice cream or pizza. Let's do that. You see, it's the mind doing the best it can, is doing what it's designed to do to move us away from the discomfort into something more pleasurable and very efficiently.
Yeah, the mind wants to rely on past experience to try to give us a better state of feeling. And then that doesn't work. That's called repeating the habit that isn't in our best interest.
Well, and let me give a caveat to that, because lots of times it does really work. If I'm trying to get to work on time, it reminds me, oh yeah, there's this shortcut. Ooh, let's do that. You see, it can serve us. But there's a difference between that craving for food and being really efficient, remembering how to be efficient getting to work.
Yeah, it pulls information from past habits. That's where it's not so wonderful often.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The habit isn't the problem, actually. It's that it's using memory from the past to try to feel better. When we're trying to get to work efficiently, yeah, remembering that shortcut does make us feel better, and it serves us. It doesn't have the consequence that it does when I reach for the brownie or the martini or whatever our relief might be. So the craving is part of the built-in system. So if we really want to create a healthy relationship with food, then what we talked about yesterday is we just want to start to distinguish between the difference of what a craving feels like and what our body's wisdom feels like.
Yeah, how when we get quiet just for a moment in the middle of the craving, we can tune in to what the body really wants. And the body always wants what supports health and thriving.
Yeah, our wisdom. It's like I was thinking today, this is a crazy analogy maybe, but it's like if we have a Ferrari, it's designed to roar, it's designed to really perform. And if we put diesel in it instead of gasoline, it can hardly get around the track. And if I think, oh, well, I've got to change the spark plug gap or the timing or, something, without dealing with the very basic component of what's going in, it doesn't work. You put gasoline or diesel in, the design hasn't changed. It's designed to thrive, but you have to give it what it needs. And so it's like that. The Ferrari, if it had a mind, it would all give me gasoline. Let's get rid of the diesel. And what that is, the coughing and sputtering of the Ferrari is like the high blood pressure or the arthritic pain, or that's the sign that something's out of balance. So we get these symptoms, and they're not punishment. They are simply a wake-up call to look at what we're doing to bring ourselves back into thriving. That's the wisdom of the body. It's always, if it gives us a symptom, that's the wisdom saying, I'm designed to thrive. We aren't thriving here. Let's look at what we're doing.
I know for me, when I've had cravings and I've stopped and asked the body, do you want more of this or do you want this food? It will often say, have a glass of water. That will make everything fine. And it does. Just that little bit of following my wisdom, that craving flies out the window.
It's fascinating, isn't it? So we've been recommending, all the 30 years we've been doing this, we've been suggesting to people, listen to your body. They say, yeah, my body wants chocolate. So what we've learned is that there is a way to distinguish between that craving that's coming from that built-in system to try and provide us with relief or more comfort, and the body's wisdom. That what we came up with yesterday was that, a craving has this urgency about it. That's kind of the
push.
Yeah, that's kind of the signal. It's like, maybe this isn't trustworthy. So if we can take a moment, like Connie said, we can settle just for a moment. We can find a way to take that urgency, that urgent thought, that urgent feeling, just take it off the front burner for a moment and see if something actually comes from our body. It seems the other thing I notice is that when there's a craving, it's like from here up, I got to do this. And when I can hear my body's wisdom, it's like my whole body is just gently encouraging a particular direction.
And what's so great is, as I listen to my body and follow what it is guiding me to do, the cravings dissolve. It's really good, because then I don't even need to fuss with them anymore. Things get easier and easier and healthier as a result.
Yeah, we listen to the body and we trust that, start putting in what the body's looking for, which we have found is whole food, plant-based. We start to thrive. The way the body is designed to function just functions that way.
You know what's interesting is lately I notice after every meal we say, boy, that was so good. Yeah. We're just loving what we're eating and how it makes us feel.
Yeah. And there's another component with, oh, that tastes so good. Because it used to be when I was into my high fat, high dairy diet before I met Connie, I mean, I would say that after a pizza, whoa, that was so good. And then, my body would kind of say, that was a little much, wasn't it? But I didn't listen to that. It was all up here. So now, after a meal here, it's like, wow, that was so good. It's not just this speaking. It was amazing to taste in my whole body. Like saying, thank you.
Appreciates it. Yeah.
This helps me thrive.
Yeah. So, recipe. One thing that we found is really helpful for us, we like to celebrate sometimes Thanksgiving and Christmas. So how do you do that on whole food, plant-based? So we created a recipe for an amazing stuffing. It is so good, and it's all whole grain, wild rice blend. a mixture of grains, and we'll give you that recipe today. So if you're skeptical, try it out before Christmas because you'll want to serve it at Christmas if you give it a try.
Well, and if I could just add on, what had us develop this recipe is that we would allow ourselves to have kind of a traditional sage dressing
Yeah,
at Thanksgiving
with
and
bread
Yeah.
and milk and butter.
Yeah, yeah, and we loved the taste, but a few years ago it was like we love the taste, but we're getting such a clearer message now. We hear our body's wisdom so much more now. Can we provide that taste, because that's what we're looking for, in a way that we get a thank you afterwards instead of, what was that about?
Yeah, and this is it. So give it a try.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. See you soon.